Hello, I'm Barry Griffin and I'd like to introduce you to MTB379. The model is 1/32 scale, which is a handy size of about 28 inches overall, and this is easy for transporting and handling. The model is quite fast and fun to run on the lake and is quite easy to make. She's a class of boat which I very much enjoy making. There are a number of reasons for that. The first is that the hulls, being slab-sided, are relatively easy to make compared with round-bottom ones. Because they are planing boats, they have a nice turn of speed, so they're fun to operate on the lake. There's enough detail on them to be interesting, but not so much detail as on a large warship like the destroyer or the cruiser, which is going to take you a couple of years to build. So all in all, it's quite a handy model to have, and it's a fun project. The crew of these boats varied according to armament carried and kind of operations they were carrying out, but they could be between 25 and 30 officers and crew. They would certainly be operating close to the Dutch and German coasts. They would be looking for anything trying to creep down the coast at night, minesweepers, small coastal convoys and so on. Occasionally, some types of these craft were used for mine laying in estuaries and just offshore. Some of the coastal craft were used for clandestine operations, landing agents on the coast of France and so on. Some of the exploits of the coastal craft read like something out of boy's own paper. They were quite extraordinary. There was a group of French crewed coastal craft that went down to Jersey and sank 2 ships right in the harbour. Usually they operated in flotillas. If they were doing something like landing agents ashore, it would almost certainly be on their own, or perhaps in pairs. That would be a swift dash across the channel and back again, but mostly in groups, sometimes quite large groups. It was a result of 3.5 years of war experience, and by the end of 1942 they were beginning to get a better class of small weapons for boats like this. So the Navy were looking for MTB gunboats with heavier equipment on to counter the E-boats in the North Sea. It was a very successful boat. With 3 engines, she did 39.9 knots on her initial runs. We've got to look at this model as a near-scale model. Of course, these hulls have a very pronounced flare at the bow. So when I drew the model, in order to make it easier to make, I flattened out the shape in the bow, which means that you can bend a piece of ply round quite easily. If I'd left the original lines there, we'd have had to look at planking or double diagonal planking, which is much more time consuming and for the average model perhaps not as easy. One of the things about building these wartime coastal ships is that there was a constant development through from 1939 actually right through to the 50s and 60s. So it was a big choice of fit out. Therefore you can make it as simple or as complicated really as you want. This one is a little more complicated than most. She's carrying 4 18-inch torpedo tubes. She has a twin Oerlikon 20mm cannon on the foredeck, 2 flare throwers. Most of the operational trips these boats did were at night in the North Sea, and there were times when they needed to light up an object, an enemy or some part of the coast. So the flare throwers were for that purpose. Mounted on the after torpedo tubes for close work were 2 pairs of twin Vickers machine guns, 303 caliber, and as you can see, 4 18-inch torpedo tubes. Some of the later models of the same class went for 2 heavier caliber torpedo tubes, 21-inch, but generally speaking they were made as you see this model. When it comes to the detail at deck level, there are fortunately quite a large number of aids available to you, both in the bookshops and on the internet. So I was quite easily able to find out what this boat was fitted with and its dimensions. Frankly, the building of the bits and pieces on the deck for me is the fun bit. All in all, it's been great fun building this boat. I think there's enough detail on it for it to look interesting without it being too onerous. It's good fun to run on the water I hope you enjoy it as much as I have.